However, Hitler's global strategy had many flaws. Strategically, he was inferior to the senior military officers with profound expertise, constantly overstepping command levels and interfering with their sound decisions. His first major blunder occurred during the Dunkirk campaign on May 25, 1940. The German army advanced rapidly, nearly encircling the Allied forces. Hitler hoped to capture these troops as bargaining chips for future negotiations with Britain. Eager for glory, Luftwaffe commander Göring intervened. Hitler halted ground forces and deployed air power instead, allowing 330,000 Allied troops to escape. When Germany later invaded the Soviet Union, military leaders vehemently opposed the move but couldn't sway Hitler's determination. After war became inevitable, generals advised either striking earlier or prioritizing Moscow's capture as the political heart. So, Hitler instead prioritized seizing resource-rich areas from strategic perspective. When invading USSR on June 22, 1941, Hitler divided forces between Ukraine's breadbasket and oil fields, delaying Moscow assault until September's end. This delay proved fatal. Russia's early winter and fierce resistance led to German defeat, marking the war's turning point. Over the next 4 years, Hitler increasingly micromanaged Eastern Front like a petulant child. From 1943, Hitler demanded static defense. Manstein defied orders, using mobile armor to counter Soviets. This temporarily stabilized Eastern Front, forcing Soviets to explore peace talks despite their advantage. Hitler stubbornly rejected Soviet overtures despite catastrophic casualties. He also dismissed Manstein's Eastern Front command proposal and removed him, accelerating Germany's collapse. Anti-Hitler sentiment grew within military leadership. Diverse political factions began conspiring to assassinate Hitler and end Nazi rule. On July 20th, 1944, conspirators embedded within Hitler's inner circle detonated a bomb that wounded him and launched a coup. But Hitler's authority remained absolute. As long as he breathed, no one could replace him. After the failed coup, Hitler purged the military hierarchy. This sealed Germany's fate, expending every bullet and dragging all Germans into annihilation. Such hysterical behavior was typical of Hitler. His brutality manifested throughout 1212. After Reinhard Heydrich's death, he massacred an entire village and razed it, later refusing civilian evacuation even as Berlin fell. He deemed defeated nations as dross, contrasting sharply with his personal relationships. Privately, Hitler displayed genuine friendship and even tenderness. His inner circle included Rudolf Hess, Hermann Göring, and Joseph Goebbels, early Nazi loyalists. Hess showed deepest devotion, joining Hitler in the 1923 beer hall putsch and imprisonment. Hess's fiancée Ilse visited them in prison, forging lifelong bonds. Recognizing this loyalty, Hitler made Hess deputy Führer and successor. Knowing Hitler's reluctance to fight Britain, Hess attempted secret peace negotiations. On May 10, 1941, he flew to Britain unauthorized for peace talks. The British detained him. Though publicly condemning Hess and confiscating his property, Hitler privately admired his loyalty, sparing Hess's family. Months later, Hitler still called Hess truly dear to me, second only to fanatically devoted Goebbels. Goebbels himself was a propaganda genius, but in 1924, he was captivated by Hitler's speech and joined the Nazi Party, even receiving personal audience with Hitler. Goebbels maintained diary writing habits throughout his life. His diaries contain numerous meeting details with Hitler, overflowing with adoration and praise. Before Berlin's fall, Hitler decided to commit suicide. In his final hours, he appointed Goebbels as Reich Chancellor. The Goebbels couple chose to follow their Führer, poisoning their 6 children before committing suicide together, becoming the most resolute among Hitler's inner circle. Albert Speer presented unique case within Hitler's political circle. Their connection began in late 1928. When Hitler addressed Berlin students, Speer, then a technical university assistant, became mesmerized by his oratory, and joined the Nazis. 16 years Hitler's junior, Speer came from architectural dynasty and shared Führer's building vision, earning genuine admiration. Thus, Speer became Hitler's confidant, transitioning from civilian architect to Nazi core leadership. In early 1937, Speer was appointed chief architect for Reich capital renovation. After 1942, when armaments minister died in crash, Hitler unexpectedly tasked Speer with wartime production. Despite no management experience, he revealed organizational genius. He dramatically boosted Nazi war production, sustaining German war machine until final collapse. And Allies eventually considered him more crucial than Hitler himself in war's final phase. Yet Speer retained remarkable clarity as war deteriorated. Near war's end, Hitler demanded scorched earth policy, maximum destruction of infrastructure, leaving nothing for Allies. This would have doomed German civilians. Guided by conscience, Speer sabotaged this order using his authority. Still, before Hitler's suicide, he risked life returning to Berlin, urging evacuation, personally fulfilling friendship duty. These were just Hitler's political circle relationships. Beyond politics, Hitler maintained personal connections. His childhood friend August Kubizek wasn't forgotten. During 1938 Anschluss, returning to Linz, Hitler invited Kubizek to lunch. Kubizek, now a town clerk and father of three, conducted amateur orchestra while claiming his sons had musical talent. Hearing this, Hitler personally assumed responsibility for the children's education, immediately ordering aides to arrange it. They met several more times, with Hitler confiding emotional struggles to his old friend, maintaining lifelong bond. It were also supported relatives after gaining power. In 1933, when SS plotted against Austrian Chancellor, Hitler's sister Paula fled to Germany after government persecution. Hitler covered Paula's living expenses and purchased her house. Beyond family and friendship, what about Hitler's romantic life? This leads us to two significant women in his life. The first was Geli Raubal, her 19 years younger niece through half-sister Angela. Meeting in Munich, 1927, the vivacious brunette charmed Hitler's inner circle. Before Geli, Hitler was emotionally reserved, even angered by unsolicited female attention. Geli transformed him into an accommodating partner. So, hating shopping sprees, he frequently indulged Geli's fabric and hat selections. This unconventional relationship lasted 4 ambiguous years. Hitler's political ambitions prevented formal courtship, while he blocked Geli's other suitors. Long-simmering tensions exploded on September 17, 1931. Geli shot herself after lunchtime argument with Hitler. The other crucial woman was Eva Braun. They met in 1929, when Eva was 17, a modern, athletic jazz enthusiast like Geli. Initially, Eva didn't capture Hitler's attention. In early 1930s, Hitler's public appearances drew swarms of female admirers. Young Eva endured jealousy and depression, attempting suicide multiple times. Approaching war forged their unbreakable bond. Eva accepted Hitler's refusal to marry while leading the Reich. Her tolerance deeply moved Hitler. This unspoken arrangement persisted for years. Not until early 1939 did Eva move into Reich chancellery quarters. After France's 1940 surrender, they abandoned secrecy. Staff discreetly called Eva the First Lady, their public affection growing unmistakable. By 1945, Hitler's deteriorating psyche anticipated doom. Though evacuated during Berlin bombings, Eva defiantly returned to Hitler. Her devotion touched even the despairing Führer. As Soviets stormed Berlin, Hitler married Eva in bunker ceremony witnessed by Goebbels and 7 others. Post-midnight ceremony on April 28, 1945, Hitler presented his bride to staff. Eva's face glowed with fatalistic contentment. On April 30th, their dual suicide pact concluded. Eva took cyanide. Hitler shot himself. Afterwards, their bodies were carried out from the bunker and cremated. 8 days after the cremation on May 8, 1945, World War II's European theater ended with Allied victory, concluding humanity's nightmare. As author John Toland observed, the 20th century's most extraordinary figure vanished, mourned only by a handful of devotees. This concludes our coverage of Hitler, a biography. Find study notes below the audio. Join us tomorrow